All right, in this video, we're going to talk about Oklahoma versus Ole Miss and what to watch for this Saturday, coming up on Sooner Born. All right, so we got an article by SI.com, and they talk about things to watch for in this game coming up Saturday. I know we've already talked about it a few times, but it says Oklahoma is 1-3 in SEC play and has been outscored 60-12 in the last two games, with just a 6-point win at Auburn, the only bright spot in the school's debut season in the SEC. Ole Miss was stunned at home by Kentucky in its first conference game and dropped a close overtime decision against LSU, losing its two league dates by a combined 6 points. Close games. What can we expect as the Sooners and Rebels meet in the SEC matchup? Here's what you should be watching for as Ole Miss and Oklahoma meet in Week 9 college football game with our updated predictions. So let's take a look at what they have to say. So they said when Ole Miss has the ball, they rank number 2 nationally in total offensive production, averaging more than 560 yards per game, and is third in the country with 7.68 yards per play. It ranks number 8 in the country by averaging 41.4 points per game on offense, and is 12th nationally with 36 touchdowns scored. OU has allowed 17 touchdowns, which is 36th, and 21.3 points per game, which is 41st. Jackson Dart leads college football's number 4 passing offense, averaging over 360 yards in the air with 15 touchdowns against 3 interceptions, while averaging 10.5 yards per pass. The Rebels are 26th nationally with just over 200 yards per game, while averaging 5.16 yards per carry. With 21 total touchdowns on the ground. Henry Parrish has 9 of the team's rushing scores while leading the team with 612 yards and averaging 5.8 yards per attempt. Dart has 3 rushing touchdowns off 59 carries, and Matt Jones has scored 3 times with 221 yards, posting 5.2 yards per run. Trey Harris has 6 of Ole Miss's 15 receiving touchdowns off 59 receptions for 987 yards while averaging nearly 17 yards per catch. Trey Harris is a good player. And so they go on and keep talking. Let's see what else they say. Antane Wells has scored 4 times and posts nearly 22 yards per grab off 17 catches, and Jordan Watkins is the only other receiver with more than 1 touchdown, scoring twice off 13 catches. Ole Miss is 32nd nationally in third down offense, converting 39 of 82 chances against Oklahoma's 22nd ranked third down defense, allowing 34 of 107 opportunities. The Rebels rank number 79 among 134 FBS teams in red zone offense, but are still productive in scoring range, coming away with points on 29 of 35 chances. 21 of those scores are touchdowns, which is 60%. OU is 18th nationally in red zone defense, surrendering points on 14 of 19 opportunities, with 7 of those scores being touchdowns. Ole Miss ranks number 6 nationally in expected points added per play, while Oklahoma is 42nd in defensive EPA at 0.078. The Rebels have allowed 17 total sacks this season, ranking 91st nationally, and give up 2.43 sacks per game, ranking 94th in the FBS. Oklahoma is 3rd in the country with 25 total sacks on defense, 4th with 3.57 sacks per game recorded against opponents. Now, let's talk about when OU has the ball. OU has struggled on offense. They struggled in offensive production this season, ranking number 128th among 134 FBS teams. Damn shame. With 288.1 total yards per game, and is 3rd worst nationally with just 4.31 yards per play. OU's quarterbacks have combined to average 115th in the country with 176 passing yards per game, with 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and are 128th with 5.8 yards per pass on average. Oklahoma is 107th nationally in scoring offense, averaging 22.1 points per game, and is 105th in the FBS with 18 total touchdowns scored. Jackson Arnold is expected to return as Sooners starting quarterback this week, and he's completing 57.2% of passes. He has, 763 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, averaging 5.5 yards per attempt. Oklahoma is 114th nationally in rushing production, averaging 112 yards per game. That is terrible. And that is 124th with 3.07 yards per carry, and is 109th with 7 rushing touchdowns this season. The Sooners rank 127th among 134 FBS teams in third down offensive output, converting just 28 of the 101 opportunities for a 27.72% success rate. That unit lines up against the Rebels' third down defense that is among the nation's best, ranking 4th in FBS by surrendering just 29 conversions against 113 chances. Oklahoma is successful when in scoring position, however, coming away with points on 19 of its 21 red zone chances. Good for over 90%, with 13 of those scores, 62%, being touchdowns. Ole Miss is third in red zone defense, allowing points on 10 of 16 opportunities, and only 4 of those scores went for touchdowns, the nation's fewest at 25%. OU is second worst in the country by allowing 29 sacks this season, and has surrendered 4.14 sacks against opponents per game on average. Not very good. The Rebels are strong defensively, averaging number 7 nationally with 24 total sacks recorded, and are averaging 3.43 sacks per game. Oklahoma has allowed 56 tackles for loss this season, ranking 127th in the FBS, and gives up 8 negative plays per game on average, which ranks 129th. Ole Miss is second nationally with 66 tackles for loss recorded on defense and 9.3 negative plays generated against opponents per game. So, that is kind of the breakdown by the numbers when it comes to when Ole Miss has the ball versus when Oklahoma has the ball. Of course, the article goes on to say most of the people predict Ole Miss to win. We know the spread is 20.5. But they are predicting Ole Miss is going to win 34-14, and they do not cover the spread, and it hits on the under. So that's just what they had to say at SI.com. Just a preview of the game coming up on Saturday, 11 o'clock. I know we all be watching, hoping for the best. We'll see what happens. But for now, that is all. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share the show if you will. Keep on coming back, and I appreciate it. Boomer Sooner.